Hello guys, and welcome back to another video. As you know, every single day we're coming back to you with great content. So first things first, we have VeChain just really putting itself into the center stage of the Western world, which I really like and I think could cause a massive movement to the upside for VeChain. And we have to talk a little bit about Kwon potentially being found guilty of money laundering, not just not just going against the SEC and trying to impede them in their investigation, but actively being found guilty of money laundering. It's
naughty Kwon.
Exactly. He's a bit of a slippery one, isn't he?
He is, yeah.
Yeah. So, AJ, how are you today? What's your thoughts on the overall crypto markets?
I'm good, yeah. So there's a little bit to talk about, with the Nasdaq as well today, which will tie into what's going to happen in crypto. So that's good. And as he said, this potential massive move for VeChain. On the technicals, we are sat at major support, and there's a potential pattern which I'll show you as well, which could, which we could trade off and which could, bring us immense gains. So. Yeah, we might have a nice little breakout on that VeChain. I'll just give you a little glimpse of it right there. So we'll get onto that in a moment.
Good. So, okay, we want to just quickly add into the general markets. So, obviously, with everything that's going on right now, I'll be doing a stream, I will say, in about an hour or so. So make sure you jump onto that. And that's going to be only around what is the interest rates, what is CPI, why, what's going on in the markets and why are we seeing red everywhere. But just generally very risk off sentiment right now. I mean, even the S&P down by 2.38%, NASDAQ 2.75%, absolutely crazy. And that's a lot of it has to do with this headline here. And that's affecting the crypto market. So we're down, you see quite a lot of percent. If you actually go down to VeChain, however, here we are up by 3% over the week and 1.3%, which is not a great rise, guys. I know it's not, but it is something. Now, the reason why is that the UFC clinches sponsorship deal with blockchain company VeChain. So this is a multi-year deal. And its agreement with VeChain is a multi-year deal valued at nearly 100 million, which is great. And obviously they've said, it's a globally recognized leader in blockchain technology. I don't really think it is globally recognized, very much within the Chinese market, I will agree. But globally, it's very much flown under the radar. I think it's good. I quite like VeChain, but I think it's very much too... I don't want to say too Chinese, but all of their clients, all of their marketing, all of their endeavors are very much focused in and around that market, and that does hinder them from reaching the rest of the world. But just to add a little bit more salt to this, VeChain started out as a private network that transitioned to being public and is used across different supply chains in fields that include the automotive, medicine, energy, particularly carbon management as well. Now, it was actually started by the previous CIO in China of Louis Vuitton. And that is so that they could, if you've got like I've used this before with the Lamborghinis, but if you've got high value stuff that you're sending, you want to be able to make sure, just like with Amazon, you see that it's been sent and you see it's been delivered to the warehouse and then it's out with the delivery driver. You want to make sure and verify that your packages are where they say they are. And VeChain tries to tackle that. But, I really like it. Like I've said, here you go. It was Sunny Lu, who was the former CIO of Louis Vuitton in China. Now, a lot of their partnerships are only with Chinese branches of very well-known company. I think it's one of the largest, the biggest freight company in the world. They're Norwegian, I believe, so I'm not going to try and say the name. PwC, massive consulting client, and then we go further down. Renault, for example, and then also these are a lot. There's a very much Chinese companies. There are others in here that I haven't kind of included, but also Walmart in China, which I think is massive. So I do think VeChain has a lot of potential. I think it's very much sheltered from the mass world, shall we say, and overall it's at such a low level. Let's have a look more technically. AJ, what does this look like?
Yeah, so we are actually in a great buying opportunity for VeChain. I have mentioned lots of times before, I'm not sort of getting into those altcoins because Bitcoin hasn't found a bottom yet, but historically this is a great time to enter into VeChain. So I think I'm going to be entering into VeChain when we do break out this pattern, which I'll get onto in a moment, but only as much as I can afford, because the market is so bearish at the moment. But just looking at this blue box here, we have lots of support at that blue box as of right now. You can see that we are in this blue box right now. Previously, when we were below this blue box, we did find lots of resistance here, and then we broke above it and we found support along it, and then we saw that massive run up, even all the way back here at its launch. We found resistance along this level as well. So this is a very important level that we need to be looking at as of right now. And we do have a potential trade. If I zoom in a bit closer into the 4 hour, we can have a clearer look at this pattern. Now, this pattern is a triangle pattern, and we have respected this pattern very, very well. So finding lots of support along this support level. Around here, we found so much support, and we continue to find so much support along this level. So we know this is a pretty strong level of support. Same with the resistance. We found lots of resistance along this level. We were trying so hard to break above the resistance here, like we were trying so hard to break the support there, but we didn't quite manage it, and we saw that rejection again. More resistance and more resistance again. So as of right now, we are seeing a slight rejection from that resistance level. Now, what I'm looking out for, and what I am going to be trading, and I will keep you up to date with this as well, is the breakout of this triangle pattern. We break to the upside, I'm gonna take a long out over on VeChain. We break to the downside, if it's possible, I will take a short out on VeChain as well. So yeah, this is going to be a great move for VeChain. This could give us a potential price target. If I just take the bullish price target, would be approximately 0.038, and the bearish target would be around 0.024 approximately. So this could be a great move for VeChain.
Yep, love it. Absolutely love it. Now back onto just a little bit more news with Bloomberg Terminal. So I want to be a little bit more optimistic, I guess, with some of our news, because yes, the market is down. Like I said, it's all looking very bad. But this is where, and I'm going to apply the same thing that is true in my mind for what we need to do as retail investors, but also what I think the wider actual, I'm going to call them actual investors, the institutions, what they are doing. And that is very much accumulating at these lower prices, getting the foundations into place so that when the price jumps up, they're already in the market. Now, I can see this happening with a number of different companies. Bloomberg is just another one that we've seen recently, expanding its terminal data, offering with 40 new cryptos. So at the moment, if you use Bloomberg Terminal, you have Bitcoin, Ethereum, Binance, and also Solana. I thought there was XRP included on there as well, but also, so those are like kind of the most prominent, should we say, but then also you can dig further and you'll be able to access up to 50 different cryptocurrencies through the Bloomberg Terminal. And if you guys don't know what it is, that's absolutely normal. You typically only use it in investment banks, in hedge funds. It's very, very Wall Street. It's literally the most Wall Street thing I've ever seen. The numbers are everywhere. But what they have said is, as the crypto space matures and more institutional investors actively develop investment strategies involving crypto, the demand for reliable and verifiable data on the nascent space has risen. And this is where I think this is key, guys, because what's the one problem that institutions have? They don't know about crypto. They don't trust crypto. Not that maybe they don't know about it, they just don't trust it. Is it true? It can coin market cap come and manipulate the price. I think we saw, was it CoinGecko? AJ, I don't know if you remember this, but a while back, they had Bitcoin at something mental. Like there was a glitch, or it might, no, on Coin Market Cap, the market cap of I believe it was Tether, was something insane. So they do have glitches, and I think that's one of the issues. I can't remember the exact thing because it's just come to my head. But the thing is, it has to be like reliable and verifiable data, and that's one thing that I think is what Bloomberg are going to solve. And in more news, Mastercard announces new crypto partnerships for its NFT payment services. Now, what they're trying to do is essentially allow you to buy NFTs without converting to Ethereum or Solana or whatever it is that the NFTs, the platform that they're built on, but just be able to buy them straight up with your Mastercard. Now, as you see here, a blog post, an executive vice president at the company, Mastercard, said it had partnered with Immutable X, Candy Digital, The Sandbox, Mintable, Spring, Nifty Gateway, and MoonPay to enable NFT commerce, which is crazy because there's 2.9 billion Mastercards worldwide. Now, some people might have, a couple of them, but that is an insane amount of Mastercards. And we all know how many, customers they have. If every single one of these people could buy an NFT, this would immediately make me think, okay, well, I need to find out all the partners, because if you don't know about NFTs and Mastercard says, hey, you can buy an NFT, but you can only buy, let's say, these 5 different projects, you're probably going to buy one just for the sake of it. So that could be a very, very big potential kind of entry into what, speculating, but trying to get in there, knowing that there's so many different people who are going to be curious about it and might just buy one for the sake of it. So that's there. But they have already been working with Coinbase to support cash payments on its recently launched NFT platform. And Visa is also looking very closely at the NFT space because they bought a CryptoPunk. Some of you might remember on Twitter, they changed their profile picture to a CryptoPunk. And
that makes it a lot easier for people who aren't in the crypto space as of right now, just being able to purchase it with their Mastercard, because people who aren't in the crypto space right now may not know how to set up an account on an exchange, put their money into crypto and all that. So it will bring a lot more people, because it'll make it a lot easier for people to buy them.
And that is one of the issues, because when you actually think about it, it is quite long. If you want to buy an NFT, so you have to sign up to an exchange, you have to give your passport, your address, you have to, do all the KYC, and then you actually have to upload your money. Then you have to buy, let's say, Ethereum, for example, or Solana. You then have to purchase that. But then you have to have an external wallet on an NFT platform that you also set up. And then you need to be able to enable, an actual transfer on the blockchain, which, is something that blows people's minds if they're not involved. So then do the transfer on the blockchain of like Solana, one wallet to another. And then you have your money here where you can then go and actually buy. Like that's quite a lot of steps for, like my mum would have no chance doing that.
Same here.
So that could bring a lot of people into these specific projects that we see Mastercard begin working with. And finally, I want to talk about, so we know that Kwon, he tried to block the SEC investigation into Terraformer Labs, but there is more trouble because the SEC has found money laundering evidence against Kwon. It just gets worse and worse for this guy. I'm sorry, It's not a great day. It's not really his day, is it?
No, it's not looking good for him.
No. So the SEC has got its hand on Terraformer Labs founder Kwon's alleged money laundering activity. The agency has also initiated a probe into Terraformer's volatile cryptocurrency, Luna version 1 rapid crash. The evidence of his money laundering highlights 100 billion won, which is $80 million of the company's monthly operating expenses were split between many crypto wallets. Where's that if that's an operating expense, what are you spending that money on? Why is it going to a crypto wallet? It should be going to servers. It should you have to actually say where you're going to put the money, though. You can't just kind of put it into your wallet and hope you get away with it. But furthermore, Kwon's being investigated by the SEC for allegedly violating the Securities Act by using a blockchain service to make it easier to buy US securities through Terra. Bad news just leads to more bad news. Sorry, you kind of messed up with this one. Everyone's coming after you. Everyone. South Korea. I was going to say North Korea there. South Koreans are definitely after you. I mean, North Korea might actually take him on. They're quite dodgy in the crypto space, so I've heard. But yeah, let's bring it back round onto. So the main part of today is that later on we're going to have the CPI print from the US. Now that's the major thing that everyone's going to be aware of, and that's the one thing that if you're trading today, watch out. Huge volatility, undoubtedly. So watch out for that. But let's have a look as to what this looks like on the chart. If we're looking at, we see here, was it Bitcoin and the Nasdaq, right?
Yes, this is the Bitcoin Nasdaq. So I just want to bring this to your attention that the Nasdaq, this week we are seeing, a almost 5% move towards the downside. Now, today we haven't actually, the market is still closed. We still have 2 hours left till the market's open. But, it looks like, the Nasdaq is going to continue to go down, which also, takes us on to Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is possibly, most likely going to continue continue having some more downside, if the Nasdaq does. Now, I just want to bring your attention to this as well. If I just make this full screen. So, ever since around 2008, 2009, the Nasdaq has been going up in, a nice steady trend along this yellow line, and occasionally, coming back and testing this yellow line. Apart from that time when we did have the COVID crash back in March 2020, we did break below it.
There's so much money, wasn't there?
Yeah, and then we got really overextended during that 2-year COVID pandemic. We increased the price increased so much more than it did when we were, we were going up along this trend line. So the market, is very, very overextended. And what I'm looking at here is the price, to come back and test around this yellow trend line area. That's, what is something I'm looking at, because historically we have come and tested that area a few times before. So, I do see the price coming down here and testing that. I do see that as a possibility, and that brings us to Bitcoin, and there could be that more downside for Bitcoin, because if I just pull it up and line it up nicely for you, you can see that the Nasdaq. We know that the Nasdaq and Bitcoin is very, very correlated. When we see those pumps in the Nasdaq, we also do see that. If I line it up here, we also do see that in the Bitcoin chart. When we do have those pullbacks, we also have those pullback in Bitcoin as well. So it's very correlated. I am expecting Bitcoin to have some slight downside, maybe this weekend, maybe next week as well, like the Nasdaq is having. Moving on as well, the dominance still in this resistance area that I've been talking about for a while. If we see a rejection here, I'm expecting the alts to do a little bit better than Bitcoin. I'm expecting a bit of a pullback if we see a rejection here, which would be great for the alts. Maybe we can look at getting into some of the alts, with only as much as we can afford, because we are so bearish at the moment. I'm not confident as of yet that Bitcoin has found that bottom, but there are some bullish signs on the technicals that I've gone through in previous videos, so make sure you watch them, where I go in depth a bit more about them. What I wanted to bring your attention to today was just some more confidence that a Bitcoin bottom could be in. So this is the bitfinex longs and against the Bitcoin price. Bitfinex, this is one of the oldest exchanges. This is the OG exchange. Traders have been trading on here since 2012, 2013. I know that a lot of miners use this for trading, and a lot of whales use this for trading as well. What I wanted to bring your attention to is when the Bitcoin longs, sort of peak on Bitfinex, we do tend to see Bitcoin, finds that bottom. And then we start to see Bitcoin, increase in price, and we start to see a pullback in the longs on Bitfinex, and that is when people are, taking profit from their long positions. Then we seem to, bottom out on the longs, and that's when Bitcoin seems to, top out on the Bitcoin chart, and then we see the price of Bitcoin pull back. And we see the Bitfinex longs, increase, and we have actually almost doubled the longs on Bitfinex. So The previous all-time high was actually 54,000 back here. As of right now, we are just a little over 90,000 longs. So there is, a pretty high possibility that we are going to peak around this area, because the reason I think we are going to peak is because, we've had you can see these massive green candles here. And now we're starting to get those smaller green candles. This is where, we could sort of see that Bart Simpson pattern. I know you posted that over on Twitter. We could see that Bart Simpson pattern happen, and then we see that massive pullback. What that signals for Bitcoin is a potential bottom. Now, it doesn't give us a time frame. It just gives us, the sort of information that we need, and that is that the bottom, is around this area. So if we see, that those bitfinex longs pull back, then we're going to see the price, increase. We're going to see the price increase first, and then you'll start seeing the longs pull back, because that's when people are going to be taking profit. And then that's when I think, the price could explode. And this, just sort of correlates with all the other charts that I've been looking at. I'm not going to go through them today. If you haven't seen them before, make sure you watch the other videos. But I think, there is a big move coming. I can't put a time on it. I am expecting, a bit more consolidation now. But, there is a big move coming, and there's lots of patterns that I'm personally going to be trading. So make sure, you stick around with our community and you watch our videos, because, this is, going to be my next trade on the 4 hour. We have this falling wedge, this falling channel pattern, which I'm going to be trading when we do get that breakout. We also have this massive diamond pattern that's, I'm going to be trading if we break to the upside or break to the downside. And obviously, one pattern leads to another. So the breakout of this pattern, could lead to a breakout of this pattern, which could then take us on to, the target that I've been looking at, which is all the way up here. So make sure you stick around, watch our future videos, because, as of right now, we are a little bit boring, we are consolidating, but there is some big moves coming, and we are going to be trading them together. So make sure you stick around, watch our future videos, and that's where we are going to be making, all those gains.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll be calling it. We'll be telling you exactly what we do, what we're trading, when we're trading, how we're trading, and also going live so you guys can watch us as it happens. So yeah, make sure you do stick around. And without any further ado, is there anything else you want to add in, AJ?
I think that's all. For me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So guys, just one final thing I was going to say. I am going live in, believe it's going to be about an hour. No. Sorry, about 45 minutes, I'd say. So I'll be going live in about 45 minutes. And the reason why is I want to go through exactly what is, inflation, everything like this, but then catch the CPI data live as it's happening, and then see how the markets immediately react. It's because, I think this will move the crypto market, and I want to show you guys exactly how. Yeah. Sorry, you were saying something, AJ.
I was just going to mention, I'll quickly pull it up on the screen quick. The DXY chart as well. We are back into that resistance level. I've talked, if you've been watching the channel for a while, I've been talking about this for a while. I want a rejection so we can see, massive pumps in the Bitcoin price, because previously rejections at this resistance level have led to mega pumps in the Bitcoin price to all-time highs. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention. We are, back in that resistance level. So, we could see some consolidation up here whilst we see some consolidation on the Bitcoin charts, then hopefully getting that initial rejection, which will then lead to that massive move. So there's lots of indications that a massive move is coming. So you need to stick around and we will, be calling these massive moves when they happen.
Good. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next one.
Thank you. See you later.